Hello?
Hey man, I made a lunch for us. Are you coming home?
Hey man, no, I'm driving around town looking for a store with that sweet game we're all into.
Oh, isn't driving dangerous and illegal?
Yeah, but I mean, I've taken a defensive driving course and I think I'll be alright.
Douglas?
Don't do what Douglas Don't did. Shop online at Mighty 8. Hello and welcome to Telefrag. In this episode, we put the new in news.
Nothing can stop us now. I mean, not even Duke Nukem himself can get in our way.
And we show indifference to the suffering of others by playing MotorStorm Apocalypse. But first, something for the ladies. There ain't no party like a local area network party. Two people who know this are Nick Jansen and Richard Patterson, organisers of the upcoming Auckmageddon event being held on Auckland's sunny North Shore. We ask them why PC LAN parties are important, especially in the era of console FPS chicanery.
I guess the thing is that it brings everybody together in one sort of central location. I guess the internet, you mentioned consoles, but the internet has also quite decentralised the gaming and everyone just plays from home. Whereas back in the day, without high-speed internet, everyone kind of would come together in this one place and spend a lot of time geeking out, gaming, and to us it's a big social thing, yeah.
LANs used to be these social events on everyone's gaming calendar. People would travel across town or even the nation for lag-free action and a chance to yell at each other in person. They were great golden times, but the times, they change.
It's not as strong as it used to be. Definitely not as strong. I remember when I used to go to LANs and it was easier to get 500 people in a room.
The community focus of Auckmageddon, paired with the technological requirements needed to even run most DRM-enabled games, means that Auckmageddon is in a great position to fill the void created by XLAN's strong tournament focus.
We just want to sort of, I guess, build a community. We want to, build a community around the landing aspect of it again. There's lots of other little communities around there, around a specific game or individual kind of games. So we want to build a community for gaming in general and carry it on through and hopefully we can do something else with it. Gaming in itself is inherently competitive, so you've got to want to compete to win and that sort of stuff. But it shouldn't be like that shouldn't be why you go there. It shouldn't be why you have you don't focus on playing that and then as soon as it finishes you leave if you've lost your kind of round, right? You just have fun.
The few community-focused LANs that continue to this day have managed to do so by remaining relatively small, relying on regular, loyal attendees. Trying to create something larger with an eye on sustainability to help foster a strong community is not without a challenge.
Just by definition, I think gamers are generally quite lazy. So, making them move can be quite hard sometimes. It's a lot of running around, chasing people up, making sure that we're getting payments, we're still getting registrations. Marketing is part of it as well. Getting the name out there, getting recognition to what we're actually trying to do, and sort of bringing a community together is actually quite a hard thing to do. They do cost a lot of time and money. The people who usually contribute to the setup of the event are actually doing it all for free. Most people actually don't charge. They're not actually charging for their time. It's all basically community based, and it's the people who actually organise the events, like Ned and I, who end up having to fork out the bill if there is if your attendee list is going below break even. The
only cash that we have coming into this event to pay for all the things that we have to pay cash for is out of our own pocket and ticket sales.
Auckmageddon is being held at Auckland's beautiful North Shore Stadium on April the 16th to 17th. Get your tickets now.
In the news this week, continuing a long tradition, Duke Nukem Forever has been delayed yet again. Randy Pitchford from Gearbox Studios has released a video explaining why.
I'm Randy Pitchford, president of Gearbox Software and executive producer of Duke Nukem Forever. And here at Gearbox, we are in the final hours of Duke Nukem Forever's development. I know it's hard to believe, but it's coming. The game is coming. I mean, May, right? I can't believe it, but we're almost here. I mean, nothing can stop us now. I mean, not even Duke Nukem himself can get in our way. It's the unshippable game, and we're finally What? Is this some kind of a joke?
So obviously from that video, our viewers at home will hopefully notice that the 10th of June is the new release date in New Zealand.
Yeah, but it makes you wonder really what else do they need to do to the game? It needs more polish or the bug fixes. We know that Randy Pitchford's come out and said this in an interview, that this isn't some kind of gigantic marketing scam. The game actually does need more work, but I mean, really?
Yeah, personally, it comes across to me as a marketing scam. I mean, June the 10th is immediately after E3, which is 7th to the 9th, and it makes you think possibly they've got something special planned for E3.
Oh, you could look at it that way. You could also say that this is just a giant scam to bury the game in the middle of all the news that comes out of E3. If it's a really terrible game, which it could possibly be, yeah, it's a great time to release it. There's just so much news coming out of E3 that gamers might not even remember the review scores.
That's actually quite a good point, because I mean, you wait for E3 for a whole year, and there's all this gaming news, all this media blitz, and you get in a real mood to try something new to play some new games, you know? So it's almost like Apple, when they announce an iPad or whatever else being available on the same day, you want to go out and buy it. So for Duke Nukem Forever to come out immediately afterwards, even if it's getting average reviews, I'd probably go out and buy it anyway. I'm in a mood for a game.
So in other news this month, the video game BAFTAs have been announced. These are the British equivalent of the Academy Awards. Not really too surprising. Mass Effect 2 and Call of Duty took out some awards.
I mean, what was surprising for me was that Peter Molyneux was given the Academy Fellowship Award, which is their lifetime achievement, you know. So alongside the ranks of greats like Shigeru Miyamoto and Nolan Bushnell, who founded Atari, Molyneux.
Yeah, actually, I've got a quote that he said to The Guardian in the UK. And I said to myself late one night, have I already created the greatest game I'm ever going to create? Is the rest just a downhill struggle? And the next day, a letter came through the post telling me I'd been nominated for a BAFTA fellowship. And I just thought, I am going to prove that I haven't done my best. Everything I've done up until this point is just training for what I should do.
How close were we? I mean,
yeah.
He says it right there. He was about to give up.
Yeah. I mean, the guy hasn't really done anything great since Bullfrog. You know, since Lionhead, he left Bullfrog and founded Lionhead. Bullfrog was great. I mean, he had awesome games like Syndicate, Populous, and Powermonger, and these really, really awesome games. And then Lionhead.
He's made Fable, which is, let's be frank, rubbish. And he's apparently made some grooming simulator for the Kinect.
I know. Yeah, it's crazy. So in actual positive gaming news this week, we've got Nintendo have released their 3DS, and we've got one right here.
It's very pretty. I've had a chance to play on this here in the Telefrag studios before we started filming. It is in every way a big step up as a DS. The screens are much nicer, it's got a little analog nub and button action is much nicer. In every way, it's a pretty big step forward. The 3D is actually reasonably disorienting. I'm not too sure that I'd use it on full strength all the time because you get a narrow field of vision on it. And the battery's a little crap. But as a DS, it's fantastic.
Okay, so I mean, other than Nintendogs, which is best game ever made, what else is there at launch that I should really get excited about?
I don't think there's much else for you to be excited about. But for the rest of us, there are some big name titles like Ridge Racer, Ghost Recon Advanced Warfare, Super Street Fighter, The Sims 3. You know, it's stuff. Currently, the launch titles are sort of big name cross-platform titles, which don't particularly excite me, but they'll hopefully get some people in.
Yeah, okay, but then again, it's $500, man. I mean, other than a Nintendo fanboy, who is going to drop $500 on this?
Yeah, that is a fair point, and I mean, I don't think that I'd personally buy it on launch, despite the fact I am a huge Nintendo fanboy. But again, the charm with it will come over time. The same it did with the original DS. It's the titles that get made for it specifically that have the real charm to them. It's games like Professor Layton, Phoenix Wright, Zelda's coming out for it again. When those games come out, that'll be when it's justified to purchase.
Due to the recent earthquake, Sony felt the need to delay the release of MotorStorm Apocalypse out of respect to the people of Christchurch. Lacking both respect and the inability to dissociate real-life events from the entertainment we consume, we here at Telefrag decided to go ahead and review MotorStorm Apocalypse anyway. The MotorStorm series have long been standout games for the PS3, with each iteration progressively holding the title of Telefrag's favourite arcade racer. MotorStorm Apocalypse manages to continue this run, but it isn't without fault lines. The racing itself keeps to the standards set in place by the preceding titles. The ultimate point of difference with Apocalypse is the setting. The concrete confines of an urban locale doesn't sound like something that would complement the massive jumps and chaotic actions that the series excels at. This is where the apocalypse in the title comes in. The city is undergoing a series of natural disasters, brought on by massive earthquakes. The streets have been ripped apart and forced the citizens into anarchy. This has created an opportunity for a group of off-road racing enthusiasts looking to challenge themselves in the last uncharted land left. The environment is a mess of toppled bridges, roads made from adjoining craters and gutted skyscrapers. As you race, the continuing disaster causes streets to give way and buildings to collapse, opening new pathways as you compete in familiar race types. The chaos is the defining feature of MotorStorm Apocalypse. It happens so often and fits so well with the track design that it doesn't end up feeling like a novelty, or as predictable as a similar feature did in last year's Split Second. Also a first for MotorStorm is the new campaign mode. 3 levels of difficulty have you playing as 3 different characters as they make their way through the tournament. With unlockables and collectibles attained through placement and cards hidden along the multiple routes on each track, the campaign serves as an acceptable main event for the single player experience. It isn't better than what you'd get in Pacific Rift, but it is different. It's a solid amount of content that is satisfying but uninspiring.
Playing with yourself again, Ty?
I'm just waiting for a sucker to beat.
The future's coming, Tyler. And it hits a lot harder than I do.
The online experience is a real step up over the older titles in the series. Racing against other people is still as unforgiving as it ever was, but the experience system that's been used as a mainstay in first-person shooters for a while now has taken a firm hold here. Ranking up and unlocking various perks, as well as new skins and superficial customization, creates a level of addictiveness that will hopefully ensure that even if you aren't coming first, there are reasons to keep playing as your skill increases. The netcode is great, and even with the game still awaiting release in many key territories, matchmaking is quick. The negatives for the game are ultimately superficial, but still important to the overall vibe of the game. The storyline of the campaign is told via a series of motion comics featuring rejected character designs from Infamous. The story itself is somehow beyond forgettable, with its only saving grace being that it is entirely skippable.
Oh, you're toast.
Hold on. Boss wants him alive.
In the leg, then.
That wasn't my leg.
Graphically, due to the setting itself, the visuals don't feel like they managed to escape the blandness of the grey concrete and rubble. It isn't enough to lessen the enjoyment of the arcade-style racing, but it doesn't feel like a step forward over previous titles. Overall, the single-player experience is unlikely to change your mind on the series. It is enjoyable, but it doesn't exceed what came before it. The multiplayer is a total step up, and for MotorStorm fans, it improves over previous titles in every way.